today I'm going to be discussing branding for your business. So a little bit about myself. I am a recent UF graduate. I received my master's in public relations along with my certificate in global strategic communications. Both of these fields helped me learn more about relationship building between an organization and their target audience. I also received a certificate in social media marketing and e-analytics during my undergrad studies, and I was a former social media coordinator. Here at the town, I've had the pleasure of actually working on the Let's Talk Business program. It helps recognize and increase social presence for local Davie businesses. I've also worked on the People Sound social media campaign to increase engagement online, just by highlighting some of our community members, such as our residents, employees, businesses, and teachers and students. I also work on town publications, weekly newsletters, and on the town social media. So what is branding? Branding is part of the pre-planning stage of any marketing strategy. It helps create a strong identity and presence, and it helps identify your business's services or products that you provide. Here's a clear example of the town's hurricane guide. As you can see, it is clearly distinguished by our town logo, compared to Miami-Dade Sky, which is distinguished by their bright colors and their own logo on the bottom. So good branding is part of anything you create, from flyers to graphics to publications. It can also be included on social media, and I highly recommend it. One example that we've done is Instagram Reels on how we tie in the town's identity to create this little video to promote home repair program. So on this view, so in this reel, we used the town of Davie's fonts. We keep the clear cover photo just so viewers can recognize who we are on social media, and it's just carrying out this branding throughout. Another example is the Let's Talk Business program. When we create these videos, we use the same video format. This helps viewers recognize that this video is coming from the town of Davie directly. So why is branding important? First of all, it builds trust and loyalty. Secondly, it sets you apart from your competition, and it also increases value for your business by showcasing the products you provide, recognizing who you are, and identifying the services you provide as well. So a few ways to create a strong brand is first, choosing colors that are consistent with your business's identity, and using fonts that complement your logo and your voice. If you are a business that's very serious, you're not going to be using fun Halloween fonts for your graphics. Once you've identified colors and fonts that go with your business, you can create what's called a brand guide. This is like a cheat sheet that you can use for yourself and share with team members that will just ensure that everything you create stays consistent and cohesive. Most importantly, when creating a strong brand guide, it is so important to just implement and stick to the colors and fonts you chose. So here are Town of Davie's preferred fonts. For our primary fonts, we have Oswald and Roboto. These two fonts you can actually find displayed across our website. For more of our serious graphics, we will also implement Baskerville. And then if we want to introduce fun fonts into like our flyers, we will go ahead and use our Hometown and Snell fonts. This is also the Town of Davie's color palette. So we have our primary colors, which is green, gold, black, and white. These are actually pulled directly from our logo. And then we also have secondary brand colors that complement our primary ones. So, good branding combined with social media makes for a strong marketing plan. This in turn helps you ensure that you're reaching your target audience, reaching more people, showcasing your business, and just helping them identify who you are, what products you sell, what products you provide. I've also created a list of free helpful resources in creating a strong brand guide. A few of them include Facebook Ad Library. This allows you to actually search for your competitors, see what they're pushing out on social media. Canva to create templates. They also have a free color palette generator You can plop in your logo. It will actually generate colors pulled directly from your logo. Similar to the color generator is Colors.co. This allows you to use one color and it'll go ahead and just show you all the colors that complement the first one. HubSpot for a free brand guide template that you could download. Adobe Express for fonts. And then just to put everything together, you can go ahead and use programs such as PowerPoint, Google Slide, and Microsoft Word. So, thank you for learning about branding, especially tying in with the Town of Davies identity. I am going to go ahead and pass it on to Jasmine from SBDC.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Moselle, and I'm with the Florida SBDC. I'm a market growth specialist, and I work with clients, assisting them with everything from the broader picture of marketing communications to brand development, website development, social media, and everything in between. And today, we want to talk about branding in terms of where do you get started. So we've got the picture of how you actually have your end product from what was just shared. And now we have to look at how do you even start with it? Where do you start with your brand development? So as we get started, you want to think about your mission and vision and value statements. What is actually the why of your business? Why do you do what you do? How do you inspire people to believe in your why? And you convert more people and more customers and potential customers to grow your brand. What is the how? How do you do what you do? So part of marketing communications is basically informing the public. You want to educate a potential customer or potential client. So it's a lot about information and informing, and it's also how you inform, and it's also tying it back into your mission and your vision and value statements. Now we're talking about how do you inform the client about your product or your service uniqueness. And that is one of the most important things in developing brand distinction. It's really critical apart and show how you can help your potential customer or the client. What do you do? So communicating what you do for that potential client or for that potential customer. What is the actual pain point? And if you can understand your customer and know the customer, the target customer very well, then the goal would be to provide a solution in your communications. So once you start creating a solution to the pain point, you're now developing a stronger brand recognition. So as we look at the mission, vision, and value statements, it's very inclusive and interwoven with market strategy, your brand development, your target market, and eventually your customer acquisition. With brand development, you have a brand archetype that speaks directly to your mission and your vision and your values. So if you want to ensure brand cohesiveness through clear and consistent messaging, and you want to develop decisive brand guidelines to basically establish a cohesive brand strategy. Your brand identity is your persona to the world. So you're going to have an integrated view of the brand image to the public. That would be the goal. And you saw from the previous presentation about developing a brand manual. So it would be the combination of logo, colors, voice, and messaging. The concept of your persona to the world, here I am. It's really important when you're considering that, though, to always consider what is that message being carried through that logo, or even through the image. We want clear and consistent messaging, and the combination of logo, colors, and to create that messaging about your product or your service. So when we get to buyer personas, we go back to that concept of customer pain point or client pain point. So one thing you can do is going back to understanding your customer. Once you identify the pain point and you know your target audience, then you can leverage your messaging based on what your solution is for that customer that you targeted. What you do, basically the why, the how, the what. Clear and consistent messaging, and if you can create a strong logo, tagline, images, and the clear and consistent messaging, you can ensure your brand then talks the talk, and walks the walk. How do you think about brand archetypes? Brand archetypes really mean the why behind your business. It's really has to do with the emotional appeal, the culture behind, the story behind, basically the interests of potential customers to your business. You want to connect your value and your mission. Does your brand archetype fit your target audience? So you want to also think of alignment. Alignment is really important when you're developing your brand concept. Archetypes have to do with really more of a concept. So the concept behind your brand. You could say, all right, there's 12 archetypes, and by this chart, I don't know if you can all see that through the projector, but the sage is an archetype, the innocent, the creator, and then there's several of them here. You can think of what the concept of that archetype is and whether your brand fits into that. It's really used as kind of brand positioning and developing your strategic marketing. So an example would be, and it doesn't have to match exactly, but say, for instance, the archetype caregiver, that concept may equal a nonprofit, or it may equal, say, a health service provider. If you think about the explorer, it could be something like an adventure product, outdoors, maybe a brand like REI, sporting brand, innovation and technology. And there's many brands that may symbolize that. One brand in particular that you might think of is Apple Computer, the creator. But Apple Computer has done something a little more unique as well, because they have multiple brand archetypes. They have the outlaw, which you can think of as the disruptor, the technology disruptor. There's different ways to think about it. The sage would be knowledgeable, education. And you can think of archetypes also in terms of, even in Hollywood, the actors, they develop brands. So branding goes multiple fold. It's really across many genres. The sage, Morgan Freeman, okay? Maybe Oprah, among many different concepts. So the brand archetype all together. The brand archetype is your story. It's your values, it's your mission, it's your story. The concept to the public is, here's my story. The foundation you can have as your mission, your vision, and your value statement. And then the marketing communications is the communicator, which builds relationships, it engages, it creates brand awareness, and you're going to educate your target market. Where do we go from there? So marketing versus customer acquisition. How do you get a customer? And what's the difference between marketing and customer acquisition? Think of marketing as the education. of your brand, customer awareness, brand distinction, all of those things we've looked at. Then customer acquisition is driving that action. So that's the next step. And how might you do that? First of all, you want to define and focus how you're going to drive your action. That has to do with understanding your target market, has to do with knowing the channels that are appropriate for that market. Also, very helpful is implementing metrics. And then eventually, the best part about it is then you'll hopefully acquire your customer. And the long-term goal is to keep that relationship alive, continue that marketing, communications, educating the public, engaging the potential customer. So then we want to basically connect all the dots in marketing communication. How do you bring it all together? And you bring it together with a marketing plan. That's basically you're doing a very focused, channeled plan, and you're incorporating in all this communication your mission, your vision, and your values, which connects to the why, the how, and the what, your buyer personas, your brand archetypes, basically thinking about your demographics and your psychographics, your brand identity and the elements to define that. And then what you're going to do is define your tactics, define your story, tell that to the customer, and through your marketing plan, you're going to start taking action to acquire customers. And then you're going to be working on your marketing plan, which is our next speaker. Andrea Jean-Baptiste is going to top it all off with the marketing plan.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea Jean-Baptiste, and I'm a growth specialist with the SBDC. And so we have just talked about the look, the end result, right? And I think Ariana gave really good examples of the town of Davie in action. She did not break down all of the details of what and how those things came to pass, but we got to see the video, the fonts, right? And a lot of the ideation came through exactly what Jasmine just talked about. There were people in a room somewhere, I'm guessing, over a period of time who did all of those, took all of the steps that Jasmine just mentioned to get to where Ariana is. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the steps, but I want to talk about the overarching why, the framework, right? The marketing strategy. That describes the reason, as Jasmine said, for your marketing efforts and how they'll help to achieve your goals. So why am I doing this? Why am I using social media? Why am I choosing those fonts? Why did I use Halloween fonts? Right, for my very serious business, because we're having a Halloween party, perhaps. And in our brand guide, it says that we can make exception, because we have a brand guide that has outlined all of these things, right? And then we create the plan. So the marketing plan documents the how, which is what Jasmine just talked about. How will the company execute the strategy, the why? How will I do this why, right? To achieve the desired outcomes. And so you have your marketing mix that every plan is going to talk about. Of course, the product. And we see plans a lot that talks a lot about the product and forgets about everything else. We have a great product, it does this, eat this, it's green, it's this, it's that. Well, what's your price points? How does that compare in the marketplace, right? Are you a higher end product? Is your price point a little bit higher because you're expecting to maybe promote it as a luxury item or brand, right? And then promotions. How will people discover your product? Oftentimes, especially now in this digital age, we get a lot of social media, right? And that's a great tool, viable tool. But you know what? Traditional media still exists, and traditional media is pretty effective in some cases, and particular industries, it's important to understand the promotion as well. The place, part of that, right? Part of that promotional piece, the website, retail experience. Are you wholesaling it? Are you using third parties, right? Where will the product be placed? Is it in a store? Is it in the town of Davie? Where is it? The people. Who are the people that will execute this strategy, who will deal with the brand, who will interface? Who are the employers, the founders, the culture, the image, the customer service? What type of training? Because that's important in communicating your message, in creating your strategy, in implementing your how. And of course, a process. Can we standardize this process, right? Can we measure it? That's really important. How do you know if your marketing is working? People will go, well, they'll buy it. Well, you know what? There are a couple of phases before maybe buying it. You have people, we walk into, let's just say we walk into a store in the town of Davie today, and we look through the racks, and we look through the racks, and we look through the racks. We've entered the store, we've looked through the racks, we turn on our heels, and we walk out. For whatever reason, we didn't find our size, we left our wallet, whatever the reason. We came back 2 weeks later and we looked through the racks again. Maybe we went to the clearance section. Maybe we had a conversation with the customer service person and so on, but we didn't buy again. For whatever reason. But the third time we came in, we looked through the racks, or we didn't even look through the racks. We went straight to the shelf and we picked up the product and we went straight to the register and we paid for it. Because we had exposure to that store, to their merchandise, to their customer service, right? To their price points, to their sizes, to their location, all of those things. Exactly what Jasmine was just talking about. We've had that exposure. And now on the third time, we've converted that. So those are also things to measure, right? The engagement. How are people engaging? Are they always on this part of my website? Or when they come into my store, are they always in this corner, right? That's important to take a look at. What's in that corner? Oh, all the glitter dresses. That's my corner. Right? It's all the glitter. Well, that must be a thing. Maybe we need to put that in the window, right? Because that's attracting folks. So that's really important as well. That's part of that physical evidence as well, right? But we also understand we do definitely need to look at that process, particularly the measurement is important because we need to know what's working in your marketing plans. Your physical evidence. What is the environment like? What are your stores like? What is the packaging? What is the equipment? Do you have recommendations? Do you get recommendations? Are you looking online at your Google reviews? That's part of your environment, right? Your online, your digital presence, right? Is it clean? Word of mouth? Are people talking about it? Sounds, smell, staff appearance. Jasmine and I had a visit at a location, and it was interesting because some of the environmental things that we talked about, we were like, you know what, it's a little bit dark, but maybe if they added some light, right? If they did this, if they moved this to the window, it could be a little bit more attractive, things of that nature. But the environment, the physical evidence played a huge role. And part of that was, okay, so I come into this store, I like what I've seen on the website, but it doesn't necessarily match. And so that's where that brand alignment comes in, into the strategy, into the actions. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, goodness, sorry. Okay. And I'm back, there we go. So types of marketing plans, right? Tactical marketing plans. They align the activities to the specific tactic to the marketing strategy, right? So you've got a tactic and you've got a strategy. Your channel marketing plans, it optimizes a specific method or a platform. So that's looking at the channels. We're doing the product and we're just gonna do LinkedIn, we're gonna do website, we're gonna do radio, whatever it is, right? That platform, that specific method. Your content marketing plans, it focuses on the specific types of content with actualizing the marketing strategy. So what's the content around, right? We're not necessarily, it's not tactics, it's not the channels, it's the content. We're writing, we're putting it together. So with your tactical marketing plans, some of the things that you may see, they're paid marketing, right? Some of the components of this. You purchase your advertising that specifically targets an audience instead of waiting for them to find you organically. The other term, if they find you organically and offer you, it's earned media or earned advertising, earned exposure, right? You've done something that's gotten the interest of someone. With the paid ones, I found a media place and I want to be on your television, I want to be on your radio, I want to be on your podcast, and I'm purchasing the time. You've got your influencer marketing plans, another tactic. It used to be called brand ambassadors, right? And so you still have brand ambassadors, but you also, influencers and micro-influencers are really kind of on the growth, on a growth trajectory, and many businesses are using them. One of the things that you have to be always careful of is the influencer, right? An influencer is an influencer. Are they positively influencing towards your brand? Or will they do something that will detract from your brand? So that's something to a word of caution. Your referral marketing plans, they may offer discounts, right? On special promotions to your customers. So if someone refers to me, then you get 10% off, or you get a free bottle of Coke, or whatever it might be. But that's a part of the plan. Sometimes we call them cooperative marketing as well. Co-branding, two brands that work together to create a new product with both brand names attached to it. So, for example, we could say this may be a co-branded kind of exercise, right? So we're providing a marketing workshop, completely different product, brought to you by Town of Davie and the SBDC. And they're two different components, right? But we're putting it together, we've branded it together, we're co-locating and so on. Our product launch, this one is important because a lot of times folks have a product and it's like, how do I get it out there? What do I do? What do I say? This outlines your strategies, your objectives, the target market, the budget, the tactics, all of that around the product, right? Your timelines, your KPIs. So what will I need to get done? What do I want to see? And any of the other measurements that will determine the success of the plan. So these plans, what you will find is that you're going to have kind of micro plans built in, particularly if you have multiple products or services, because not every single product or service what you will necessarily want to pay to advertise, right? You may want to pay to advertise your business, but a product or service, you may want to create a campaign around that, which may look a little bit different. We're going to talk about some of that in our content. So channel marketing plans, that's your social media plans, right? It was one of them, social media plans. The summary of your activities and your expected outcomes using social media. The more specific, the more effective it will be. What channel are you going to use? Are you going to use LinkedIn? And why? The most important thing is why. Oftentimes our customers come to us and they tell us, oh, yeah, I'm using all the socials. Why? And who's doing it? Me? And how are you going to sell? How are you going to create product? How are you going to do all these things? You're doing how many socials? Yeah, I'm doing Facebook, I'm doing LinkedIn, I'm doing Twitter, I'm doing TikTok, I'm doing Snapchat. Did I miss any? And I go, why? Who are you trying to reach? Well, I provide blah, blah, blah for women, da, 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 da. But you didn't say Pinterest. Right? So understanding your target audience and the platform is important because yes, you want business people, LinkedIn is where it's at. You want some quick referral type things, Twitter is where it's at. Facebook, that's the globe. But you want the seniors, that's where you're gonna find them, right? And careful now with TikTok because in some places, TikTok access is limited. So we always have to think about that because I know for FAU, we can't access TikTok. We're not allowed to on our servers and things of that nature. So that's something to think about and understanding what's my alternative to TikTok. If most of my clients are on TikTok, how do I still create messaging, create a marketing plan that offers an alternative? Okay? Your emails and SMS marketing plans, that's that personal communication intended to turn your target customers into long-term customers. It's forms of direct marketing that involves sending promotional offers, updates, and news to customers via emails and texts. It's pretty self-explanatory. What that should be is you definitely have to have your list, right? Don't spam me. I'll tell you a quick story. I have a really good friend who is now in the travel business, and she does a lot of cruises. I'm not a cruise fan, okay? God bless those of you who are. Enjoy your cruises. I have no judgment. It's just not for me. But she keeps sending me these texts about these cruises that she's planning. If you're watching, stop it. Even though I've told her several times, I'm not interested. And she's my friend. And so now it becomes like, when I see a text pop up, do I want to open it? Because are you selling me another cruise that I'm not going to go on? Or are you just saying, hey girl, how you doing? So you also have to understand, right, that's very direct. That's very intimate. And so once you start connecting using emails and text messages, you have a strong chance of, one, really connecting with folks or losing their interest. So this actual tactic in terms of email and SMS needs to be really considered well. The whom, how often, right, am I going to be delivering these messages? And if they don't respond after the third time, maybe I probably should not continue. I should drop them off my list, right? So we want to pay attention to those kinds of activities. Event and conference marketing plans. Very, very much like your product launch. You've got an event. You've got something, you know the date. You know your venue, you've got your capacity. Now, let's build the messaging all around that. We've got to do the visuals, we've got to do all of that. So your objectives, your target market, your budget, right? Your timeline, your KPIs, how many people do we want to see? If we're selling tickets, how many tickets do we need to make to sell to make sure that we break even for this event, or at least that we turn a profit, right? If we're providing event staffing, who's where at what time? All of those things should be part of, right, the event plan, and also ensuring that you're covering the marketing components of it so that folks, you understand the outline, you're able to communicate forward-facingly that conference or that event. The content plans. This is where we're writing, we're creating the content, okay? Your newsletters. Those are important, and we see a lot of clients who come to us with huge digital ideas, but newsletters are not part of it. And I'm not sure why. Because they do prove to be effective if they're done well, right? You're sending information, product-focused content via an emailed letter to a subscriber list of potential and existing customers. And many of the softwares that are available, and I don't know of a good one that's free, I don't know if Ariana does, but some of the ones that are in the market are exceptional. They cost, yes, there's a fee for the service, but they're exceptional because you can track KPIs, you can track click-throughs, you can track who dropped off of your mailing list, you can track who forwarded the list, right? So that person, guess what, Ariana's always forwarding my emails. Let me call her and see if I can take her to lunch, right? Because I'm thankful. She is an influencer. She's a brand ambassador, very silently, and I can pick that up from the back end of my newsletter marketing platform. Podcast marketing plans. So promoting, selling your product or your service through audio content, right? Can you create an audio and shop it around to different platforms? Yes, you can. Can you have something on your website, listen to this? Yes, you can. Can you engage and put it as part of a newsletter marketing plan, or of course a larger marketing plan? Yes, you can, right? But it does allow you to reach new audiences. It tells the brand stories in your voice, literally, if you choose to use your voice with audio, right? It builds authority, and it engages word of mouth marketing. I cannot tell you how many times you, us, we all do, say, and I heard this podcast. How many of you say that? A couple times a week, maybe, month, right? I heard this podcast, or I listened to this podcast. I've listened to so many podcasts because someone else said, I was listening to a podcast about that. You need to check out Jasmine Moselle, her podcast on, right? So your video marketing plans, similar, creating, curating, and utilizing videos as a means. Videos. So we see, and this is where also the branding really needs to show through. I see oftentimes, and with our phones, we can create wonderful things, or not so wonderful things, but I see oftentimes folks doing quick videos for their products and so on, and they're wondering why they're not gaining any traction. Well, you said you're an expert in this, that, or the other, but your video looks a little wonky, and did you hear the sound quality in the back, and the car is flying by, and the pitch at certain points, sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low, those types of things. So it's important to not to create good content, to curate good content. Sometimes you've done, 60 seconds of a video, and maybe only 15, so it's maybe only a soundbite that you're going to use and extract from that video and build it into something else, right? Now creating reels is so much easier. Put it together. Let's go. Let's get started. Boom, 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 right? Pulling all of your pictures. But once you've established the branding, the logo, the identity, and so on, that also needs to show through in your videos. Not, I've got this great website, I've got this great brand image, I've got this great logo, I've got these great fonts, I have this great newsletter, right? I've got this great audio quality, great product, and so on. And then the videos that I'm using to push them looks nothing like anything else that is out there representing your company, service, or product. Landing pages create opportunities for customers to answer calls to actions. Those are different from your website. That's a separate page. You want somebody to go to do something on that page, do something, a call to action. Buy here, pay here, learn here, read more, do something. Donate. All my nonprofits, right? Donate. And so what does that say? How do we create it? And what is the call to action? Your guest blog post, writing and publishing a blog post on another person or company's website. And you'd be surprised how many companies are looking for experts or folks that are aligned to their field. And sometimes we don't do that. We meet folks and we talk and we maybe look at their website and they've got articles, they've got resources, and we consume them, but we never think of, hey, let me reach out and say, hey, can I be part of this? Can I share some of my expertise via a blog post on your website, right? I always say to folks, as you are launching your company, one of the things to always do for the first year at least is to send out quarterly press releases, part of your marketing campaign. One, introducing who you are in the company. You may not get any pickups, that's okay. But you have communicated your message, that's very clear, right, to what you're doing and so on. Nothing wrong with sending press releases, particularly in your areas of expertise, right? Something has happened in the news. I'm a local person who's working in this area. Let me share with you, hey, I'm here. And at least quarterly, sending out something to a media group. And that's another thing as we talk about marketing. I encourage everyone to start creating your media contact list, right? Those are your folks in, of course, television, radio, social media, so on. You want to have a listing of those folks. Sometimes it's just the editorial desk at a television station, right? Sometimes you can actually purchase media lists that are not very expensive, that can be culled to your needs, to the area and the region and the types of media. You've got college radios, you've got college newspapers. All of those places are really, really good opportunities for you to get the message out as well, and to position yourself and or the product as this expert, this leader, this disruptor, right? And you want to keep that message going. So bringing it all together, as we talked about, the here I am, right? The pre-planning, the brand identity, your product, your service identification, the uniqueness, the value position, and then talking the talk and walking the walk, your mission, your vision, your values, right? Those need to be part of everything. So it's not everything that's gonna say, and the mission of our company is, no. However, you can certainly speak to it, speak to the mission. This is what we're doing. In some places you do need to say the mission is, right? Your vision, your values, particularly your values should always be conveyed in your message. If you are a fun person and your company is about fun, your colors should be bright and lively, right? The language, the people who work for you. I'm coming into this fun place, that doesn't seem like a lot of fun, right? So we want to make sure that all of that is communicated. And then the message, whether you're going to do it through content, through tactics, right? But the message, what is the message and why am I using this message at this time for this product or this service? So, our planning, our what? Our unique selling position. That's one of the things that we want to talk about in the plan, right? Whichever one we're using. The features, the pricing strategy, right? The sales, the discounts, the deals. That's what we're telling folks, the how much. And if you buy 5 of them, you get 1 free. You sign up with us for 30 days, you get a month free. Your promotions, how? How are you going to do this? Could be across multiple channels, could be solely, I'm only going on TV once a month. If that works for you, your industry, hey, right? Where will folks, and you can find me at BrandSmart. Do you ever notice a new product comes on, especially on TV? Find this new product at BrandSmart, hey, we're here, doing pretty good. Right? That's why, it's the place. Because, oh, this is a great product. This morning, I was listening to a podcast, and at the end, they did a commercial, and the commercial was so fast, and I was really interested in the service that they were providing, but I cannot find the name of the company. And I'm like, I'm so sad. So I might have to go to the podcaster, but again, the place, that's important. Where can I get this service? I heard about it, I want it. And who? When you come into our fun-loving place, Jasmine, Ariana, and Debbie are going to smile, shake your hand, welcome you, give you a cup of coffee, give you some wine, and that's communicated. And how? How will I get it to you? Come into the store, I can deliver it to you, right? I'll be at this farmer's market, the Davie Farmer's Market on Saturday. That's how you can get it, or again, you can buy it online, go to the store, so on and so forth. And then the physical evidence, the outcomes. So our customers say the tangible items and experiences. Customers who use it, and I tell folks, testimonials, reviews, right? And now folks are still doing a lot of their website testimonials. That's okay, but most people, before they even go to your website, sometimes are going to the Google. And they're Googling, and they're looking, okay, I see 5 stars, all right, now I'll go to the website and check it out. I see 3 stars, let me see if I can find somebody else, right? So that's important, the tangible items and experiences. And if you have a bad review on the Google, or on the Yelp, or on the Bing, or wherever, then please address it, fix it, correct it, respond to it, right? Your website visits, confirmation emails, testimonials, customer reviews, as we just talked about. So the physical evidence, you are confirmed. I love when I place my Amazon order and it says your order has been pinged. And then I hear the ping the next day, your Amazon order is on the way. physical evidence, right? You get that other ping, it's been delayed. But again, that's physical evidence. And again, we walked through some of the marketing, the marketing plans, tactical, your channel, your content. You will have all of these components in the marketing mix, or the marketing mix within any of the plans that you choose. So, a case example, we like HubSpot, right? And so, because many of you, of the companies that we work with utilize this, the tools on HubSpot. So, how does this look in terms of a case example for HubSpot? Our product, right? Integrated tool set for SEO, blogging, social media, website, email, and lead intelligence tools. That's what they offer. The pricing, subscription-based, software as a service model based on a number of contacts in a database, number of users and services, right? So you can subscribe to it, or you can get a license, or you can use it 55 times, and then you have to pay an additional amount. Promotions, the directors, they speak at events and webinars. They create and distribute useful guides that are amplified by search engine optimization. So they do some in-person stuff, right? Because they've positioned themselves as experts. HubSpot has. I mean, Jasmine talked about it, I've talked about it, and I'm sure many of you that are online know exactly when I say HubSpot what we're talking about, right? So they are coming, they're doing some in-person type things. They are providing tools, and it says that, integrated tools, right? They're providing tools, and they are using social media as primarily the platform, right, for communicating it. And they're very strong on LinkedIn. Why? Why LinkedIn? Why not Snapchat? Right? LinkedIn, because HubSpot is intended primarily for professionals and businesses. So that's where you want your B2B, business to business, right? So again, that's why I'm not saying that they're not on TikTok, I'm just saying that their primary social media platform tends to be YouTube, and LinkedIn, and that they have a partnership with LinkedIn, right? If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Online, so where do you find them? Online. A network of partners, and then you have country user groups. So you've got HubSpot, let's say Germany, right? A user group there where they provide technical assistance, support, and things of that nature. That's the place. So you find me online. You can network with some of my partners, maybe like a LinkedIn, right? Or you can join my WhatsApp chat or whatever the methodology, probably Facebook or a LinkedIn group in country. And that's how you access HubSpot. The people, they invest in online customer service management. All of their people are online to support you, right? And so you're probably not going to deal directly with a person outside of maybe a chat bot, but that's a person, and that's their investment in the people. That's who you're dealing with. The process, they are now focused on, and I should put the date, I literally pulled this information last week, so the end of September, forgive me. And I believe it came from 2022, I did put a date there. So the process, they are now increasing the sales staff, or involving sales staff more in conversion. So before it was sell, but now let's look at what's happening before, when people are coming to the store, visiting, right, looking around, going through the racks, right? And then what is it taking to get them to actually purchase, to make that purchase? And that's where a lot of the process is being focused now. And then their physical evidence, consistent branding across communication. I love the HubSpot logo. To me, it is just one of the cutest, simplest. You see it, you know it's splooch, right? And that's what they do, just a nice little splooch of tools and information, right? Guides and so on. So I think it's a really cool, what do you call it? Visual to represent the company. And if you notice, all stuff is that blue with the orange, or very clear and maybe just that logo on there. The partnerships with major companies, major media companies such as Facebook and Google. That's where you can find a lot of their stuff, right? A lot of if you sign up, or if you're, as Facebook, lightning, as Facebook listens to you and picks up, right, and you're talking about HubSpot, I'm pretty sure by the time I go on to Facebook later on, I'll probably have some HubSpot type posts and
Yes.
information, and see our new blogs, see our
Yes.
new SEO tools and things of that nature. But that's a case example. This is what HubSpot, and so we started off with, I think, a very personalized example from Ariana with the town of Davie, and how it looked for a governmental entity, a city. And now we've not looked at the visuals per se, but I think that was a great visual presentation, but we looked at kind of the background and the framework, right, of one of the industry's leaders, and this is what their marketing mix looks like. So we're seeing it on kind of two separate scales, and so should yours, right, including all of those pieces. So that's pretty much it for us for today. I don't know if there are any questions online. And so we thank you if you're tuned in. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are interested in one-on-one consultation, we invite you to please visit our website, sbdc.fau.edu, or you can email sbdc@fau.edu. Coming next year in 2023, as part of our partnership with the town of Davie, we are interested in providing a workshop on monetizing social media, primarily LinkedIn, for your business. And so as part of that, we would like to, we'll be putting out, particularly on the town's Instagram, some surveys with regards to times, dates, location, and maybe some content questions. And we'd love your feedback, because we will be offering a 4-week training or workshop on ground for up to 15 businesses. It's a high value training, and so we are looking for your commitment, and we do want to structure it in a way that will get the highest yield, particularly for businesses in the town of Davie and others, but our focus is with our partner in the town of Davie to start. So look out for those things on the town of Davie's Instagram. And with that, I say have a great day, and thank you for joining the town of Davie and the SBDC.